She's completely flirtatious with him.
I'm just shocked at how many lies were told, okay?
So yes, it's finally official that Blake Lively has cheated on Ryan Reynolds with Justin Baldoni.
And now, every piece of the puzzle is falling into place.
Blake Lively completely exposes herself.
She's the worst kind of fake feminist, the type who hides behind empowerment slogans while using manipulation and lies to get exactly what she wants.
She seems like a bully. She was such a high-maintenance diva bully brat.
She really wanted her vision to be included in this.
Because when Justin Baldoni turned her down, that's when Blake showed her true colors. She didn't handle it with grace. She tried to destroy him.
She laughs. She laughs and says, oh, did you get beard on me? She doesn't say, oh my God, you nuzzled me and said that I smell good. This is what she's done throughout.
She really thought she could have any man she wanted. But when Baldoni, a married man, said no thanks, she didn't just take the L. She flipped the script. Instead of walking away quietly, she did what far too many entitled stars do. Turn herself into the victim.
She alleges that she's a Me Too victim there. That's absurd.
And now, the receipts are dropping left and right. And Ryan Reynolds, oh, he is not happy. Because this isn't just some behind-the-scenes flirtation. This is his wife, allegedly trying to cheat on him, failing miserably, and then weaponizing the hashtag #MeToo movement as a revenge tactic. You seriously can't make this stuff up.
She wants us to believe this is actionable harassment, what we just witnessed there. You tell me whether that's what that looks like to you.
Let's talk about Blake and this little pattern she's got, falling for every co-star she works with. Hollywood sets? Basically, her personal Tinder. First it was Penn Badgley during Gossip Girl, then she cozied up to Ben Affleck on The Town, and of course, let's not forget Ryan Reynolds, who, by the way, was married to Scarlett Johansson when Blake slid right into the picture.
This person is not an honest broker. I believe her less than ever. I actually disbelieve her fully now.
This is the same woman crying about being mistreated in the industry, while hopping from one power player to the next like it's some twisted game of Hollywood musical chairs. But this time, things didn't go her way. She set her sights on Justin Baldoni. Handsome?
Check.
Industry clout?
Check.
Happily married? Even better, at least for someone like Blake, who seems to love the thrill of the chase.
I let go of so much, and I gave it to him.
She's got that whole pretty privilege mentality, like all it takes is a wink, a smile, and boom, the guy's hers. But Baldoni? He wasn't playing. He didn't bite. He didn't flirt. He didn't fall.
When Ms. Lively later objected to this behavior, Mr. Baldoni's response was, I'm not even attracted to you.
He shut it down fast. But Blake didn't take the rejection well. She allegedly started pushing for more intimate scenes on set, dropped flirty comments on his workout videos, and made things uncomfortable, all under the guise of creative direction.
She's completely flirtatious with him.
This woman actually told him, amazing, now try it pregnant. Like, what does that even mean? She was reaching so hard to get Justin Baldoni's attention, throwing out random flirty lines, trying to spark something, but he wasn't taking the bait. Not even close.
I don't like her. She seems like a bully. She was such a high-maintenance diva bully brat.
She even refused to work with an intimacy coordinator. And that's rich, considering she later turned around and claimed she felt unsafe on set. Yeah, sure, Blake. You weren't unsafe when you were pushing for steamy scenes, rewriting scripts, and demanding extra takes. But now, suddenly, you're the helpless victim? That doesn't add up.
And that's another allegation, Holmes, is that she started to rewrite scenes that nobody had asked her to rewrite.
And when Justin still didn't give her the attention she clearly craved, Blake's ego took a hit so massive, she turned it into a full-blown scandal. This is Hollywood narcissism on another level. She allegedly tried to weaponize the hashtag #MeToo movement against a man who simply respected his marriage. Like, imagine being so entitled that, instead of taking rejection like a normal person, you decide, you know what? Let me just ruin his entire career instead.
wasn't in the best place. I told them that I was exhausted, that I haven't given myself time to recover or time to heal.
And of course, she needed a cover story. So she spun this wild narrative about Justin being inappropriate, said he was adding steamy scenes and making comments about her body. But leaked messages and production notes tell a very different story. Turns out, Blake was the one initiating those body image convos, and she was the one pushing for those looks in the film.
Man being fully castrated by a woman who is using toxic feminism to get what she wants, right?
And that whole "he called me fat" headline? Total distortion. The receipts show Baldoni actually reassured her, told her not to stress, that she looked great, supportive, respectful. But Blake twisted that into another victim moment because the truth didn't fit the story she wanted to tell.
Where Blake Lively completely exposes herself and just says it out loud with no qualms. This is what I do. The whole thing Justin's put out in his documents, she just admitted.
What makes this even wilder? Ryan Reynolds, out here thinking he's defending his wife's honor. He went all in, throwing shade, backing her up, acting like Justin Baldoni was the villain. Meanwhile, the real plot twist? His own wife was the one trying to make something happen behind the scenes. Ryan was so focused on protecting Blake's image, he didn't even see the truth staring him in the face. She was the problem.
She, like, time and time again, she accuses him of doing something, which then when you hear the full context is an absolute nothing burger. She accused his producing partner of showing her pornography.
And let's be real, Ryan probably started noticing something was off when Blake suddenly wanted to rewrite entire scenes. Like, come on, that's not just creative passion. Imagine being Ryan Reynolds, thinking your wife is just fully committed to her art, only to realize she was out here trying to script a whole new relationship with her co-star.
I will happily participate in releasing any further leaks that they have because the truth should be out there. What does she have to fear if she's telling the truth?
But when the walls started closing in and people began poking holes in her story, Blake pulled the most desperate card yet, a voicemail. One where Justin supposedly apologizes for making her uncomfortable. Convenient, right? But here's the thing. People who actually understand tech started digging into the metadata and something didn't add up.
And here is part of that leaked audio as of yesterday. Take a listen to Justin Baldoni groveling, is the only way to describe it, to Blake Lively.
I want to start with an apology. Man, reading the second part of your message, my heart sank.
The voicemail sounded edited, spliced together like a bad podcast. Tech analysts pointed out inconsistencies, chopped audio, timing mismatches. And given everything else we know now, it's not a stretch to believe Blake might have used a deepfake or manufactured audio to try and hold her story together. At this point, her credibility completely shot.
I'm really sorry. I f***ed up. That is a fail on my part. One thing you should know about me is I will admit and apologize when I fail. I am far from perfect.
The level of manipulation here is honestly next level. Blake really thought she could play the soft, innocent victim while setting up a whole man, just because he didn't want her. Think about that. She couldn't handle rejection, so she tried to destroy him. And that says everything you need to know about who she really is behind the perfect red carpet smile.
So she could start to rehabilitate her reputation, which got smeared because she turned out to be not a very nice person in the videos released last summer.
And then boom, out of nowhere, a leaked voicemail surfaces. Allegedly, it's Justin Baldoni apologizing to Blake for mistreating her. Oh, how convenient. Almost too convenient. Think about it. This is the same guy who had already laid out proof she was lying. So why would he suddenly drop a random, self-incriminating voicemail? It didn't make sense, and thankfully, the tech experts weren't buying it either.
I'm just still kind of blown away that this is the industry that we're in and that you've experienced that as a woman. And
Metadata analysts jumped in fast, and what they found was damning. The voicemail was fishy from the jump. The pacing was off, the tone kept shifting, and parts of it sounded almost robotic. Experts flagged it as likely AI generated. The audio was stitched together from bits and pieces, possibly even deepfaked, to make it sound like Baldoni confessed to something he never said. It was a digital illusion, a fake apology, manufactured to save a crumbling lie.
Those heads that I'm just still kind of blown away that this is the industry that we're in and that you've experienced that as a woman. And I know I don't need to say it, but that's not at all going to be or will be, and hopefully it's not been the experience with me.
See, Blake walks through Hollywood like she's untouchable, some self-proclaimed queen who always gets what she wants. But when reality slapped her in the face, when Baldoni didn't take the bait, she didn't take the L in silence.
No.
She threw a full-on tantrum, not in private, but by trying to wreck a man's life. And now Ryan Reynolds is left looking like the ultimate fool for defending the wrong side.
Blake knows that, Ryan knows that, and now Justin Baldoni is just basically saying, I fold.
And the irony? Blake thought she'd come out of this looking like a feminist icon, the brave woman who stood up to a Hollywood predator. But instead, the truth came out. The mask slipped. And now everyone sees her for what she really is, a manipulative, entitled liar. The plan backfired hard.
And Ryan?
He's finally waking up to the harshest reality of all. The real villain in this story was under his own roof.
Blake Lively says Ryan Reynolds wrote the scene. Okay, so he gave her what she wanted, included her scene, shot the scene.
Blake Lively genuinely believed she could finesse her way out of this disaster, spin it, rebrand it, and walk away clean. But instead, she dug herself into one of the deepest holes Hollywood has ever seen. All because one man said no. She couldn't handle rejection like a normal person, so she went full supervillain. Filed an official sexual harassment complaint. Painted herself as the victim. Claimed Baldoni was making inappropriate advances. But this wasn't courage. It was calculated revenge dressed up as justice.
This is all retaliatory. All of his leaks to the media are retaliatory and asking the court to shut him and Brian Friedman up, saying this must be shut down because they're trying to try this case in the media.
Now, let's just pause and take in the audacity here. Blake Lively, the same woman who was openly flirting with Baldoni, pushing for steamy rewrites, commenting on his workout videos, and flat out refusing an intimacy coordinator because, let's be real, she knew what she was doing, suddenly decides she's the victim of harassment? Really, Blake? That's the story you're going with? Whatever helps you sleep at night.
He's worked really hard to get to this point where he just listens to women. He has not yet perceived that a woman might do something evil. He has not yet learned the lesson that nice guys can sometimes finish last, right? And when I say finish last, I mean suddenly have an entire movie yanked out of their hands.
But here's where the tables really turn. Because Justin Baldoni, he wasn't about to roll over and let her torch his entire career. Instead, he came armed with receipts. Behind-the-scenes footage, timestamp messages, and raw clips that didn't just disprove her claims, they obliterated them. Every accusation she made, the evidence pointed back at her. So, let's break it down.
I mean, that's not authorship. That's not autonomy. That's control. That's selfishness. That's entitlement. This woman is a monster.
She claimed Baldoni leaned in, sniffed her neck, and made weirdly intimate comments about her scent. Except, plot twist, there's literal footage of her complaining about how bad her spray tin smelled and Baldoni just reassuring her, saying it was fine. She said he extended kissing scenes and called her hot, but the footage shows her initiating the takes, pushing for more intimacy, and jokingly calling the shots. Every claim she made, it turned into a mirror.
All sorry, you admit to lying, which is clearly what as you watch the text, she's always asking permission. She's guilt-tripping Justin. Oh, directors don't let me, and blah, 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 blah. And then he's always like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
And this wasn't just tabloid fodder anymore. Hollywood legal insiders started raising red flags, questioning whether Blake had actually tampered with evidence during an active legal battle. If that's proven, we're talking serious charges: fraud, defamation, obstruction. At this point, Blake wasn't trying to clear her name. She was scrambling, desperate to patch the cracks in a story that was crumbling fast. But instead of saving herself, she just exposed more lies.
She realized they had a hit on their hands. That's why she took control. That's why A-list producers brought in. That's when suddenly, oh crap, this movie's not just we need more time. This movie could actually be something.
And guess who finally started waking up? Ryan Reynolds. For months, he was her loudest defender, blindly standing by her, echoing her claims, thinking he was protecting his wife. But once the texts leaked, once the metadata didn't match, once the behind-the-scenes footage surfaced, things stopped adding up. Ryan started connecting the dots, started seeing what everyone else had already figured out. That maybe, just maybe, the woman he thought he knew wasn't a victim at all.
Everybody in the crew and so for her to steamroll this movie like she did is shocking. It's disgusting.
And then Ryan found everything. Leaked messages surfaced, and they hit like a bomb. Blake was calling Ryan an obstacle. Yes, her own husband. She was messaging Baldoni behind his back, talking about how to work around Ryan, how to hide things from him. Imagine thinking you're defending your wife, standing by her through fire, only to realize she was plotting behind your back the entire time. That was the moment the blindfold came off. But it didn't stop there. Then came the final straw, the infamous Taylor Swift ambush.
A lot of emotional stress. It's very hard on me and my family.
This is where things get ugly for Ryan Reynolds. Now that his involvement is under scrutiny, he could be staring down legal consequences too. If he played even a small role in pushing the false allegations, pressuring agencies to blacklist Baldoni, coordinating with the New York Times, or using his platform to smear him, he's no longer just a bystander. He's part of the machine that tried to destroy an innocent man. And let's talk money. For years, Blake and Ryan built a multi-million-dollar empire off their power couple image. Sponsorships, endorsements, business deals, all fueled by their picture-perfect brand. But that image is collapsing fast.
But now that she's done all this, and now that the texts have come out, I really don't like this woman. I am so angered by her ability to think she can just take control and she knows better.
No sponsor wants to touch this mess. No brand wants to be linked to a woman who weaponized fake harassment claims just because she got rejected. And if Ryan helped fuel that narrative, he's just as toxic. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni, the man they tried to cancel, is thriving. Hollywood is rallying behind him. Executives, directors, producers, they're seeing him as the real victim. He stood firm, fought back with evidence, and now he's getting more offers than ever. While Blake's career is burning to the ground, Baldoni is rising. And here's the kicker. While the trial is scheduled for the 2020s, insiders don't think it'll even make it to court. Blake's too scared of what might come out. Every text, every video, every voice memo, exposed. So what's the plan? Settle. Quietly. Pay up. Pray people forget. But here's the truth. No one's forgetting this. Because it's not just about one fake accusation. It's about how far Blake Lively went to manipulate everyone around her. She tried to cheat on her husband, got rejected, and then tried to ruin the man who said no. She lied to Ryan, used Taylor Swift as bait, faked evidence, and nearly destroyed a man's career. All because her ego couldn't take a hit. Now, she's paying the price. Ryan sees it. Hollywood sees it. And Blake Lively? She played the game and lost.